Hi, and welcome to Accidental Thoughts. I'm Jason.
I'm Jimmy.
We're already cracking up, so you know it's going to be a great episode.
It's gonna be
What you got for us
gravy,
tonight, Jimmy?
boy.
Okay,
So,
it's that funny already.
it's been one of them days where it's, what can we possibly share about today? But I
That's a
got something to
good
share with you. Yeah, I got a good one. This
pair.
was, it's kind of a funny thing when I read it. When I say funny, supposedly here pretty soon or whatever, the Surgeon General is going to release a updated, I guess, a policy or something on the fact of how alcohol can, how much alcohol you can consume to avoid getting cancer. And it's going to limit it to it'll limit it to where you can consume about basically one glass a day to possibly one glass a week, depending on, your body, type. But this is a lower estimation in relation to what it was here just recently, which was 14 glasses a week for male and 7 glasses of alcohol for women.
So what you're saying is I can't be an alcoholic anymore.
Well, I guess, I mean, part of me is like, they're telling you, you can have this, like, let's say, this much. They're telling you can have this much alcohol, and it would help you to
Right.
reduce the amount of risk of getting, cancer. My question toward it all was, who came up with the 14 of them? I mean, 14 glasses, a week for men and 7 for women. I
Right.
mean, can you imagine being that officer pulling over a car and saying, "Hey, I ran behind this week. I didn't get to do any for the first 6 days, and I'm making up for lost time right now." I mean, this is, it doesn't make sense to say that much.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know, but that's what's crazy is in the past they've had studies on like certain types of wines that are good for your heart, certain
right,
types of wines
right.
are good for this and that. And
It's kind
just
of
like
hard
at
to,
one point they said smoking was good for you, so much
what
so
so
that they rationed them
ration
to
to all.
officers and not.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
But it just doesn't,
here's your
I mean,
cart
they
for
tell
the
you
week.
that, you could take, if you have a cold or, sore throat or whatever, a shot of whiskey, that's what they used to administer, to help, with situations like that. But here I mean, I couldn't get my head wrapped around the fact of, you know, that seems kind of, I mean, wouldn't it be just easier to say, don't consume alcohol and you dramatically reduce the risk of getting alcohol cancer? I mean, it's
I
kind of
don't
hard to
know.
put a
I mean,
number on that. I mean,
yeah, I'll say. I don't know what to think of that. It seems pretty
yeah,
odd that they
iffy.
would study
Yeah,
cancer
very.
rate among
Yeah,
alcohol drinkers. And best of all, I bet you that our tax dollars paid for that.
right. And
Way to
it's just,
go, U.S. government.
yeah, all right. All other things to deal with. And
What happened to let them have their circuses? You know?
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. When I read that, I was just sitting there going, oh my Lord. I mean, it wasn't the fact of how small the number was, it was the fact of how large it was previously. And I'm sitting there going, okay,
Yeah,
it sounds like any number would have been more suitable than the fact of telling somebody you could only have half a case of beer a
one
week.
shot a week,
Wow. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, seriously? I mean, but it'll help you
right?
to reduce your chances of getting, alcohol cancer. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. I mean, if you fix that for me, I got that all figured out now.
What is exactly alcohol cancer anyway? This is one of the cancers I haven't heard of, and I've heard
I
of
haven't
some
either.
pretty
That's what I
rare
was
ones.
saying. When I was reading it, I was like, what? Alcohol cancer? And I'm like, no, I don't know. I mean, I didn't read any, I quit reading it when I read the number was that much already that they're going to reduce. And I was just like, oh my gosh, okay. I mean, I don't know. It was just one of them out there numbers. And I was like, okay. I was like, didn't see that.
Right?
But at the same time, I was just scanning through stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the world and everything, and you just try to find, it's one thing to get wrapped up in the things that are bad, what I mean? Because there's always
Exactly.
something, and you don't, and I don't, I'm not sitting there to say to avoid them, but I try to find things that are more uplifting or, a little bit more humorous in life. And I mean, that's the whole purpose of this podcast. It's the whole idea is to be,
Exactly.
be humorous.
It's just to have fun.
Right.
I mean,
And
honestly, those of you out there that are subscribed, we thank you. We're not doing this to get rich or famous. We
'cause
are
it's not-
doing this to have because it's not going to happen. And we just happen to have a half hour a week to sit around and produce this for you.
yeah,
And
let you
we
know.
hope that you enjoy it as much as we enjoy making it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I
But
mean,
yeah,
it's just
I mean,
something,
you
it's
got to look
things that you
at the brighter
see
side of life.
that are just, I don't know. They're just weird.
Yeah. Right.
I was reading about the AI chip, that we have.
Yeah.
And
Isn't that crazy?
yeah, and I'm like, it's one of those things where it's just like, well, we're only going to distribute this to, this amount to here and this amount to here, but Russia, China, and North Korea, you can't have any of these. It's like,
Exactly. Well, we know what they do with them.
yeah, yeah, but I mean,
Especially, have you heard? Have you heard? They are saying the quantum computing chip, the AI chips
right.
that they just came out with, are actually divvying up the work of computing to alternate universes. But they can't prove that an alternate universe exists. But they're saying it's computing so fast
Multiverse.
that it has to be divvying up the work between parallel universes. I'm not even joking. This was an article in some sort of tech thing
Right.
that I saw, and it blew my mind that they're talking about this sort of stuff.
All right. And I mean, it's to have a chip that's, capable of doing this in the first place. Matter of fact, we use, we use AI for production on when we do these podcasts and stuff and,
Yep.
to help do that. And I mean, in some cases, yeah, it works. It does work.
Yeah, some cases.
Exactly. In some cases. And there are some cases where it's like, I don't know. I mean, technology is a wonderful gift. It really is. It's the fact of
is.
where it gets used, where is it really helpful or is it harmful? And to see these AI chips to be, and, to see what they can do for not just our military, but for other purposes. Yeah, I can see the fact
Well,
of, we don't need to
kind of
give these to
funny.
somebody. Huh?
Well, it's kind of funny that you'd mention other purposes because they have AI love dolls, I guess.
I
Is the
know.
best way to put it.
Yeah, I heard about that. I
It's
was
only a
like,
matter of time before one of those gets a headache.
yeah, or have an opinion. Yeah, this doesn't seem right. Yeah, this is going wrong. I want my money back. This is
I think you
that.
should see other people.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's the last thing you want to hear.
Yeah,
I
you
paid
can just
good
spend
money for this.
$100,000 on an AI ex companion doll, and it's talking about leaving you for somebody else.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
hold up! Where's my
yeah.
investment?
I want half your stuff. What? Crap.
Right?
This went south. Well, it's kind of like the deal with with the phones. With phones. Okay,
Oh yeah.
Apple. Everybody, and I mean, I have my opinion. I have my opinion
Yeah.
of Apple,
Don't we all?
and they're coming, supposedly later on this year or whatever. They're going to come out with the Apple. What was it, Sky or what was it called?
Yeah, the Apple Sky,
Air
I think you
phone.
said.
Air phone. Apple
Yeah.
Air.
And Samsung, if you look into it, is doing the same thing.
Right.
And what they're doing is they partnered with Elon Musk for his Starlink satellites to utilize for cell signals. So it doesn't matter if power's out here on the ground, as long as you got a charge on your battery, you have satellite phone.
But what gets me is,
Essentially.
and I think I mentioned this earlier today, when we were younger or, kids, I remember the phone on the wall. I don't know what brand it was. Didn't care, and I can tell you right
Most of the
now.
time they were mob.
Exactly. I mean, I didn't care what it did, and and now, a phone does everything. I mean, people will literally just they'll forget their card keys, but they'll
Yep,
look for their phone, but I can't leave. I mean, I gotta have my phone. I mean, I understand. A lot of people you can use your phone to do, your banking and, and all that stuff with it. But I just, to see people clamor over the fact of, an Apple phone that's supposedly coming out later on this year, supposedly, or whatever. It's like, it's still the same thing. It can't do anything different than what your other phone could do. But when I say that, does it
exactly.
make does it make a
But
phone call? Yeah. Do you
that
do a text message? You're fine. Okay. That's enough.
that being said,
Right. Yeah, I got
there's
it.
still the point of we don't want Apple to go out of business because
No.
Apple is Samsung's biggest customer. I'm not even kidding. Every screen that goes on an Apple phone is
Yeah.
made by Samsung. And I believe about half the chips they use in their phones nowadays are made by Samsung. So
And
it's
where is
like
Samsung
it's a
made?
Samsung phone with a reworked operating system that's limited.
Where's Samsung made?
What's that?
Where is Samsung made?
God, I believe they're all over the world anymore.
Where did it originate?
Pretty much everything's global these days.
Because I mean, you remember when everything was like, don't buy China stuff. Everything, when Sony was the big thing forever, you know. I see you
Right?
typing. I know. Look at you. You're trying to get, yeah, trying to get on top of it.
Well, I'm trying
Yeah.
to answer your question. Here
Yeah.
you go. You ready? South Korea, Vietnam, India, and China.
Well, guess what? Your Samsungs cannot have any AI, my friend. We won't let you have it.
But it also moved out of China and Vietnam due to differences in the local labor market, geopolitical factors, and a supply chain management. So it's pretty much in South Korea and India,
You made
which
this
is why
comment
when
just
you
a second
dial
ago.
customer support, you get somebody that says, "Do not touch the phone. It is for display purposes only."
Don't even start. I don't know. I'd rather discontinue my service than go through that crap. I think they purposely
Yeah,
do
some
that. I think that's
and
purposeful,
don't get me
just so
wrong,
you won't do
nothing against
anything.
the people.
Right. But I
I've
think
got
it's purposeful.
nothing against the Indian people,
It has to
but
be.
it is. What's that?
I think it's purposeful. I think they do that just so you get so frustrated that you're like, no, no, I'll live with,
Not
I'll pay the
non-English
fine or
or
whatever.
yep, or not quite literate in English. Yeah.
Right. Or at least
Yeah.
dialect. But anyway, you had mentioned a minute ago about the dolls, and since you're quick on the trigger there typing, are those made? Are they made here? See, this is great because it's on
No,
your search
I
history
think
and
there's
not
one
mine.
company that makes them here. I'm not Googling that. You can Google that. I think there's one company out of Vegas,
Okay, so it is
the
made here.
original, but they're largely made elsewhere anymore
Oh,
because
okay.
places like Japan are much more open about their sexuality, I guess you could say, than we are. We have a lot of taboos. Even in the current climate,
How
there's still a lot of taboos about sex.
open do you have to be to buy one?
I have no idea. I've never looked into them that hard.
That would seem secretive, not open to me. I mean, anyway.
That's the thing is I've never really had a desire to have one. Never needed one.
All right.
Yeah. So, hey, but I could understand that there are people out there that have very real relationships with these.
Yeah.
And the advent
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
AI is going to make that relationship more real. But that's no different than somebody, say, wants to cut their genitalia off or
Why do you want to go down that road?
have transgender surgery,
You could have come
which,
up with anything but that.
there's,
Probably.
yeah, well, there's something to be said. And, don't get me wrong. We love the people. We hate the sin. And so, it's a matter of loving the people on that enough to say, hey, you might want to hold off on that until you're an adult. And that's the general consensus with about 85% of the world, is that they would rather you wait till you're an adult and then you can do whatever you want with your own body. But
Yeah.
that's a different story. We're not trying to get on that stuff here.
No, I was
But
just because we was talking
some
about the
people have
AI
very
chip.
real relationships. Back on what we were on, yeah. Some people have some very real relationships with these inanimate objects, I guess you can say. And the fact that they're becoming animate, it's only a matter of time before they're technically sentient, I guess, which is, scary if you've ever seen
First one that
iRobot or
applies
any.
for citizenship, I'll be just totally what? Just I'm gonna be like,
Well, they could
man,
illegally migrate too. I'm a
that'd be
product of
messed up,
Sweden and I
man.
live in America now.
That'd be messed up. That would be so jacked up. I mean, that doesn't even make sense.
Right? But
That's
I
so
mean,
skibbity, baby.
yibbity toilet Riz. Don't be
I
so
wasn't gonna go
sus,
all the way with
man.
that. The other thing I was looking at, and this was very interesting. I have
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know that you have, a background of it, but I've always had a love for music, and my parents do, and so forth. And one thing that really just gets me, you know, is the fact I think I was telling you a little bit about it earlier today about music and about the fact of quality of music, how it's become over the years. Because I mean, we all know, you had 78s. We'll go back that far. I know you can go back further, but 78s came out, they were thick vinyl records. These were big, vinyl records and stuff like that. And now today, you have basically download, streaming, things of that nature. In between there, you had all these things. You had CDs, you had cassette tapes, you had 8 tracks, you had 45s. You had everything. I mean, what gets
You
me
know you
is,
lost a lot of kids as soon as you said cassette tape, right?
yeah, they're all like,
A lot of these
What's a
20-somethings
cassette
that are
tape?"
watching our show probably never seen one and will never know the struggle of pulling one, your
And
favorite one,
fixing it
out of a cassette player
and
and
taking a
having to
pencil,
get it out of there to where it didn't tear, or having to tape it
yep,
back together,
and getting
or
a pencil
and have that
and
comfy
putting it back
music.
in. See,
Mm,
I am an avid 8-track collector or player. I like 8-track. Okay. And
right.
I got a long story that goes with that, but I ain't going to share it, but it has everything to do with my dad. So anyway, the quality of 8-track, I will tell you, it sucks. It really does. They're not great.
If you like white noise, listen to 8 tracks.
If you want to hear 2 songs, it's kind of like listening to one song and another one quietly in the background going backwards. And it's very
Yep.
psychedelic. And you're like,
Maybe
I
that's why
think I
they
know what
like
this
them so
song
much in
is.
the
Hold on, I think
60s
I
and
know what it is.
70s. They were dropping other things in their body too. And
Exactly.
man, this
But
is so awesome. Listen to that subliminal messaging. I bet you
exact
that's where that came from too.
exactly.
Play
It
a
had to
record
have. It
backwards
had
and
to have, because I can
subliminal
tell you.
messages. Yeah.
Because even when the song was over, you could listen to the song. All of a sudden, because the tracks didn't quite get in line, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden, you're hearing the end of this. You're like, wait, what did he just say? Did he give you the lotto numbers?
Hail
Hold on.
Satan
I mean,
worships. What?
exactly. You're like, oh,
But I thought I was listening to the Bee Gees, man.
this thing is possessed. I need to get off this thing. But the thing is, the vinyl record. Okay, the vinyl record. I have a lot of vinyl records, courtesy of my parents as well. And I love the sound of a vinyl record. And I mean, I really do. I think it's a very, I love the sound of it.
The,
Don't get me
the,
wrong.
the rock and
All of
the
it.
crackles
I
and
have a
like that. Yeah.
jukebox. It was my dad. I have a jukebox. It plays 45, and I love the sound of it. The thing about it is, that gets me, is today, people are making these vinyl records. I don't even know if they're made of vinyl anymore, but it doesn't seem right. And I think I was telling you about this. It doesn't seem, it's not part of your genre. I mean,
Yeah.
if you just see, like, what's that what's that kid's name? I know this is going to sound bad. Bieber. Bieber. Okay.
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber. Yeah. That tells you how much
Justin Bieber on vinyl just doesn't have the same
it
nostalgia to
doesn't
it, does
ring,
it?
dude. Yeah. Or
No
Taylor.
offense to Justin Bieber, but
Right. Or Taylor Swift. Don't get me wrong. Because I mean, they quit making vinyl before that, and now they're making
yeah.
vinyl again. It kind of takes that nostalgia away from it, from the fact of what vinyl really is. And
Well, kinda. I mean, the fact of the matter is the needles are so much finer and all that. It's
right,
almost like playing a CD anymore. And
exactly.
even a lot of these younger generations don't even know what CDs are. I mean, you've
Right.
seen it, and we've talked about it with my truck. Even now,
Right.
I have to have some sort of streaming device in my truck
Right.
because
Well, it was
you can either
smart.
play radio, which don't get me wrong, there's
Watch me do that
hundreds
again.
of options on radio, including
Right.
satellite now, but there's no CD player.
Right.
You used to be able to plug an iPod in or something like that, and
Yeah.
it
I
doesn't
wonder
even
how
work
many
like
people
that. It's
remember
from your
iPod
phone.
or
I think they still
MP3 player.
exactly.
I still have
I
mine.
mean, I still have MP3s on my phone. Some of them, my music that I released.
Right. I know. Hey, I have yeah, or two or three studio cassette recordings of me.
Yeah. Oh, you want to get into that? I have a Fats Domino, which, as you know, was my uncle's dad.
Right.
I have a Fats Domino reel to reel of Walking to New Orleans.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Like the 16 track, 32 track, reel to reel original recording. Heck, one of these nights you'll have to remind me, and I'll show you the poster that's up on my wall. It's number 991, 948 of 1,000 made, graphed by Fats and Little Richard and BB King. Just
That's cool.
some of the greats, and it was a limited edition print that my uncle left me when he passed.
Hmm. But anyway,
But
back to the record thing.
you've actually seen it.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah, I seen it. When we was talking about the record thing, this is all kind of a tie together, and I think we may have discussed this, offline, whatever you want to call it, goobering around at work, whatever you want to call it. Anyway,
Folks, if we could record half our conversations at work, we'd never have to sit in front of these cameras.
and the bad thing is, I even said it when I was coming home. I'm like, I'm going to forget everything I said today, and I'm going to totally walk into this like, hi, my name is, anyway, so here it is. We're talking about records and stuff, singing and stuff like that. And we brought up AI a minute ago. Okay.
God.
Okay. You ready? I know you've seen it. A lot
Listen.
of people have seen it. And I just want to get your opinion. And when people see this, they can have their opinion about it. I have mine, of course. Everybody has opinions. What do you
Exactly.
think about the
They're like
fact of,
holes and they all stink.
well, here's my thing. Well, if you are a country music fan, which I am, I'm a fan of all genres. It was very unfortunate for what, did happen to, Randy Travis. Yeah. And that was that, and to have AI introduce, to do that and everything else.
His voice.
Right. And it was amazing. It really was. I think it was astounding how accurate it was, how,
Right.
how good it sounds, but it's not him. Can he actually
No.
take the credit for that? I mean, it's not him.
That's where we're in a gray area right now when
Right.
it comes to AI. Because there are already actors in Hollywood threatening to sue or have their estates after they pass on sue Hollywood over use of their likeness via AI. So while I think, what they did with Randy Travis was special and amazing.
And he condoned it.
He should get the credit for it.
Right.
Yeah.
He agreed to it.
Yeah.
But
he should get all the credit for it. But even though it's its own form of art,
Right. I
Randy
don't
Travis
think
didn't sit
it's
down and write.
right. I mean, you can't sit there. Let's say you turn around and you put this song or whatever, I know one of them, I got to listen to it. And it was a very good song and it was really neat. Yeah, it's AI. You put him in a category, and if they turn around and they have, I mean, when I say a category, because every every form of music does this, where, you know, best male artist, best entertainer of the year, things of that nature.
Mhm.
You can't include that. You can't. As much as it might be great,
Unless AI has its own division.
that exactly. It have to have its own separate everything because it cannot be
Yeah.
that. And don't get me wrong, I think it is amazing that that it was, and he did that, but I just don't think it's in the same boat as those of a George Strait. I mean, or a, Garth Brooks or,
Well, even
anybody.
well, just people that are still out performing music. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not against him. I mean, it's not against
No,
him at
not against
all.
him at all.
It's just that
Randy Travis is a
it's
very
not
loved musician.
him.
Yes.
Yeah. But I just, it may rub somebody wrong or they might disagree with it, but at the same time, I'm like,
And
oh,
I'll
well.
say in my journeys through social media,
Right.
I've seen a lot of AI created music that's great,
Right.
but it lacks the heart of, say, a Warren Zeders
Right.
or, you know, any of these original artists.
But would you have
Now,
known it if they hadn't have told you?
yes,
How would you have known?
mainly because I've been in the music industry myself, as you know,
But
and I
that's
wrote
the
the
thing.
songs. So your average person probably wouldn't be able to tell, other
Probably
than
not.
the excessive use of auto-tune for the AI voice.
Right. AI, I mean, I think there is a place for AI. And I mean, there is. And I mean,
There
even
is.
when we do this and it does our, our little
Tool.
shorts that we put
Tool to
out.
do the work.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does the work. And there's sometimes, hey, it did a great job. There are sometimes it's like, boy, that just totally twisted everything up. And, yeah,
It does tend to skip some of the conversation at times,
yeah.
yes.
All of a
But
sudden you go
the
from,
edit it create
yeah, you're doing
the
something
edit
totally left
creates
field
great.
off the other thing. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, how did that tie those two things together? But it
Yep.
is
Well,
what it
and if
is.
you look at our YouTube thing, that our YouTube little profile photo that I put up, because we haven't officially come up with a logo yet.
Right.
That photo was AI generated with about 4
Exactly.
prompts.
Right.
And I suck at prompting AI. And
Yeah.
it still turned out, I think, all right.
Right. And I mean, I'm good with it too. I mean, the thing is that sometimes it can be a benefit and sometimes it can't. Maybe they can figure out a
Be
way.
a burden.
Exactly. And maybe they can figure out, AI to get with the Surgeon General about how to
Right.
fix the number on the fact of how many drinks somebody can have before they can avoid getting.
Yeah, I know, because I want my 2 drinks a night, darn it.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I do get pulled over, my excuse will be better. I am way behind this month. I am trying to catch up, and you
I
pulling
had
me over
to
right
catch up
now
to it.
is not big deal. Great
Right.
thing about it is I
I
don't
gotta
drink.
get I gotta
So,
get over here to get more.
yeah. You need to talk to my passenger. He's the one that bought all of this. He's probably
Well,
loaded with cancer. He's probably all messed up over there. Yeah, because
you
sometimes it's
know,
like, I don't know. But like I said, when I saw that number, even I was just like, okay, yeah, that's what, that's quite different than the one you had before.
I saw a quote that was making the rounds, and I'm going to misquote this, and to whoever the original poster of
That's
this, I
okay.
apologize for
AI will
misquoting
fix
you.
it.
Yeah, AI will fix it. Yeah, the bottom line with AI is nobody wants AI to write the music and the sonnets and the plays and the
Right.
screenplays. People want AI to do the dishes and the laundry. So if you're out there developing AI, develop it into a robot butler or maid or something of that nature, because we want somebody to clean up after us because we as humans are lazy, messy creatures.
Yeah,
So,
but at the same
that
time,
being said,
you just made a point a while ago about the time when one of those goober dolls decides to have an opinion.
yeah, but we're talking about something with the limited programming space and lack of internet access to literally, come in, clean the
But I
house,
thought AI was
do the
supposed to
dishes,
be
put the
developmental
laundry.
where it grows, where it
It
can
does to an
learn.
extent, but it can only grow within the parameters currently of
Right.
what access they give.
So
So if you
technically
don't give
we
it
could be
access to the
AI for
internet,
all we know. We're just going on with the flow.
are we real?
Maybe AI stands for something else, like, Assholes Incorporated. I don't know. But I'm just
Are
saying
are
is
we
that
intelligent? Should be
nope.
AWI.
If I was intelligent,
Are we intelligent?
I'd be doing something else. I'd
Right.
be smart enough to
I
know.
wouldn't be sitting in front of a camera trying to act cool for the youngins, that's for sure.
I don't know if the cool part is. I don't care what the young ones think about me.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, back to the Gen X thing. Who gives a rat's tail what you
Yeah.
youngins think about us? Hopefully you look
Yeah.
up to us, but in the
Yeah.
end, it ain't gonna make a difference if you
That's
don't.
right. In the end, it's the end. Well, it's
It's
been a
the
good
end.
evening. We've had a good episode. I think
Yeah.
we got a lot done, and I think it was very informative. And yeah, and if I've
Artificial or
learned
not is yet to be
anything from
determined.
all of this today, if I've learned anything, is crap. I forgot. Forget it. So
Yeah. One drink a day. That's what
yeah,
it was.
one
Oh no,
drink a
no,
day.
one
That's
drink
all
a
I could
week.
have. Well, if it's only one drink a day, hey, make it a tea.
There you go. In my case, it's water tonight, but
Sweet tea, baby. Anyway,
I
this has
hadn't
been a
made
good
any
episode.
tonight.
Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
I'm Jason,
I'm Jimmy.
and that's Jim. Y'all have a blessed night. We'll see you for the next one.
Later.